We have an awesome episode for you guys here today. As always, I'm Keili and
I am Sam.
We are your hosts this beautiful evening. We're so glad you joined us. We're going to be talking about all the juice from my time at Merrie Monarch and the tea on how to be an eco-sustainable baddie and just a conscious individual while you are visiting Hawaii, or if you're just a visitor here and you live here. So just some things that we've picked up and things that we've learned and are continuing to learn
Are that we are going to be talking about reef-safe sunscreen, being respectful in the ocean and on the land, learning about Hawaii. If you're coming to visit or even planning on moving here, you should know about the language, the culture, the people, the history, and the geology. You should also know about proper pronunciation and meanings behind Olelo Hawaii words. And
waiting for the truck. Respectfully.
And if you are coming to visit, do not exploit the beautiful places that we have. We want to keep them sacred, or kapu, and we want to make sure that they are respected in all ways, shapes, and forms.
We're even going to be doing some role playing. So stick around, and I hope you guys enjoy. And today, what are we sipping on, Sam?
Yawn.
No! Disclaimer. It's not as good as you want it.
What are we sipping on? Booch, made from this little pooch.
Booch.
Is that a bad
I've
thing
been
to
trying
say?
to make kombucha at home, and this is a pretty good batch.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little longer because I wasn't home too much last couple weeks. That's why we missed last week's.
Tell us a
Because
little
I was
bit,
off island.
but tell us how you made this little concoction.
How to make booch for dummies. Yeah. So you gotta find a friend with a SCOBY who makes kombucha. I think they also sell them at like tea shops, or like if they sell kombucha and make kombucha, they definitely have SCOBYs to give away. It's kind of like friendship bread. So as you brew, you're gonna be making SCOBYs along the way to give to homies. SCOBY for the homies. And you just brew a bunch of black tea, put some sugar in there, dissolve it, cool it down, put the SCOBY in, wait a couple weeks, and then put it in closed containers with your flavor of choice. And this week's flavor is lemon. It's nice and citrusy, and it's easy peasy because you just squeeze it in.
Squeezy.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, KK was gone for quite some time, but it was for purpose and reason and freedom.
Freedom.
And Las Vegas. She didn't go to Las Vegas. She went
Benefits.
to the Hawaii island. And tell us what you were doing over there.
Yeah, I love Big Island. I went and I was like, I want to move here. Everyone was so hospitable, so kind. I mean, everybody in Hawaii is always very sweet, I find. If
Yeah.
you're like very open and just like there to learn and just see what's gonna go down. I was just there with no expectations, and it exceeded them.
Hey, that's the best way to go.
Yeah, I always love it there. Everyone there, all my friends there are so kind. I was there for Merrie Monarch, and I could just tell everyone was happy. Everyone was stoked to be there. There's obviously a lot of purpose and just heritage and importance around Merrie Monarch. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically the week in Hawaii. It's the ultimate hula competition, and we have a Miss Aloha Hula, which is like a female soloist. And these are girls that are 18 to 25, dedicated to hula their whole life. They can't be married. It's kind of like colonial. It's kind of interesting.
It's traditional for
But
sure.
yeah. And then we have Awana Night, which is like kind of new style Hawaiian dancing, you know, like more pretty with like piano and like a full like band. And then there's Kahiko, which is like the real rootsy Hawaiian hula, which also, when people say hula dance, they're actually saying dance twice.
Dance,
Fun
dance.
Fun fact, TM.
Yeah.
But Kahiko is like the more traditional. They'll just have like an ipu, which is a gourd that you pound on, or drums, or just some kind of implement that they usually make themselves.
Really cool.
Kahiko night is my favorite,
Yeah.
personally. But that's why we're dressed up,
Mm-hmm.
because we're feeling festive.
We wanted to bring the love and passion right here to our podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so what we're wearing are mu'us, which are traditional dresses made, they're usually handmade.
Oh, these
back
were
in the
definitely
day.
handmade. They all
Yeah.
have like a single stitch, and they're
Right.
all like specific to somebody's measurements that are kind of close to mine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Someone dead.
Some
Definitely.
just be passing it on.
We find them in thrift stores and we say, oh my god,
Yeah.
it actually fits me.
Right.
We grab it.
But these are like the elegant dresses that usually on the mainland, if you were to get dressed up, you'd wear whatever kind of dress. But this is the dressing up of the Hawaiian Islands. You wear a beautiful mu'u, show its vintage, show its history, like this, and they're all so unique. Like some of them will have the same form, but
I love
it's
the
all
doily
super
ones.
unique, right?
So cute.
And I feel so cute.
And it was so fun. That was like my favorite part, is seeing how everyone was dressed.
Yeah.
And it was like looking out into a sea of flowers. Or like a
Whoa.
huge bouquet, because everyone had flowers in their hair, like
So
crazy
cute.
papale or hats that they wove, and
Yeah.
they were like sideways with like flowers
Whoa.
coming out, and everyone was bright
Wow.
colored and showing up
That's
to fucking
amazing.
impress. It was great.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
It was
I'm
awesome.
so happy that you went.
I know.
That's
I
that
hope
was your
I get the
first time.
opportunity to go again. Yep. Yeah.
Because your Hillel class was there.
Yep. Yeah, my halal was
Oh.
there, but I actually went through my Kappa Kumu page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was very kind and offered us tickets
So
to help
nice.
her with her booth. She was selling things at the craft fair, which is also a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to go and help her set up and break down, and she did really well, which was amazing. She makes all natural stuff, and she was one of the only people there, believe it or not, that it was
Wow.
entirely handmade from the Aina and like all
Wow.
compostable.
Huh.
Yeah.
You would
And I was
think.
like, we were all kind of like, dang, we wish
Yeah.
there was more
Right.
in the beauty side of it, like in the
Mhm.
fashion side. There were people there with the traditional crafts
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but as far as like jewelry and dress, no one else
Not so
really.
much.
That was all natural.
Wow.
I know.
And you would think while it's being held during Earth Month, you
Mhm.
would think that would be like an underlying theme. But maybe
Right.
it just like really does stick true traditions. But now that I'm saying that, I feel like traditional ways would all be sustainable because they had the natural resources to do so.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll see.
something
Hopefully,
to
there's
learn
more
about.
later. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah. It definitely inspired me. I
Yeah.
was very lucky to go.
Yeah.
Shout out Kumu Page. And if you want some completely, entirely, fully natural, 100% Hawaii, all biodegradable stuffs made
right
by
here.
Hawaiians for everybody, you should check her out.
Mhm.
It's Puko'a Studios, and she makes it all out of the traditional Hawaiian fabric called kapa. Moving on.
We'll do a whole podcast actually pounding
Blatant
kappa.
promotion.
Mm-hmm. But we really wanted to focus on today, yes, talking about Merrie Monarch and bringing that to the forefront and telling our wider audience about it, since mainly residents of Hawaii know about it. It's good for those on the mainland, and if not even further, to know about this special tradition and celebration that happens annually. But we also wanted to focus on the knowledge, the appreciation, and the respect that comes for being on our islands. I personally was not born here, neither was KK, but we took the time to learn about the culture, the language, traditions, experiencing some of them that we may, and really rooting ourselves into the Aina here, whether that be physically or intellectually. And so we want to bring that forward to all of the people listening to us so that they know about some of the protocol to follow, some of the things just to know before even entering or coming onto the islands. And we're just going to focus on that today.
Yes, how to be a sustainable baddie and conscious visitor here in Hawaii.
Yes. And so the first one
Starter
that
pack. Write the shit down. Grab your pen. Grab your paper. Sit down.
Grab your
Pull over to the
Booch.
side if you're on the road.
and start taking screenshots. Bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. But the first one that comes to mind, because we are very environmentally conscious, is reef safe sunscreen. So many people here and so many of the stores here are just giving out sunscreen that is not reef safe, probably not even human safe based on all of the ingredients that are in there. but we really wanted to shout out the importance of reef-safe sunscreen. And I'll pass it over to you as to why, because you were the one that came up with the idea first. You were like, protocol, reef-safe sunscreen.
Well, it's crazy because I studied biology, and my chemistry teacher told me, like, straight up, you guys, reef-safe sunscreen is not that big of a deal. Like, it's so minute how much sunscreen we put into the ocean, it doesn't even matter. But really, that's perspective, but I think when you multiply it by how many people come in and how much sunscreen people wear, when I go into the water, I see a sheen from sunscreen, and so I know it is a problem. If I can see it with my eyes, and that's just from one person, it's definitely affecting the reef and the ocean,
right,
and us, essentially.
Yeah.
And I know reef safe is a very broad term, and since it is kind of new, like sustainability, right, there is a lot of wiggle room for brands to be greenwashing.
Oh, yeah.
So brands that have been around forever selling toxic sunscreen will say mineral sunscreen, or reef safe sunscreen, or eco sunscreen. Reef safe sunscreen is a big one, but there's not really any actual like regulations around it, and so they can say that pretty much about anything. Like if there's any minerals in there, they can say it's mineral-based sunscreen. And so a good like way to check, there is like a long list. If you just give it a quick Google search, you can find local brands that are actually 100% natural, and are doing even like 1% for the planet, so they'll give back to the very reefs that maybe you've contributed towards poisoning, perhaps like me, when you've used like non-reef safe sunscreen because it wasn't a thing. So those are things you can easily look into. But an easy hack as well is that if it is a mineral-based sunscreen, a way you can tell if it is real and that it will work is if it makes a physical block and visible block on your skin. Like it'll change the color, like it'll be obvious. It'll be like foundation putting it on. So also make sure you get your right tone because I've gone out with white face, I've gone out
Sometimes
with
it makes
Popolo
you look pink.
face. So just know your shade-ish. Get the general idea, grab your color, and put it on because it will be thick.
Yeah, or even mix it in with your foundation, and then there you go.
What are some of your favorite local sunscreen brands?
My favorite one, two that come to mind are Little Hands, and one that is super local. I met her at a farmer's market. It is Wild Things Skin Food. She's awesome. She's making all types of colors. She's making blue, red, pink, so you can just have fun with it.
So throwback to the zinc days.
Throwback to the zinc days. I've met people that are allergic to a lot of sunscreens that they need a specific one. And so if that's the case, you can even look more into like making your own sunscreen.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that, but I have a long list of DIYs I need and want to do, and I have to complete them in a certain way when I have time. I have to be in the zone.
Needs to be chronological order.
Another sunscreen I really like that actually supported Chris and I on our voyage was Avasol, and they're like the ones that taught me about the physical barrier, and they're like an awesome company. Even their packaging is 100% biodegradable. It's all just cardboard, and it's all organic cardboard. And so we literally smushed one of our sunscreens, and we were like, we can throw it into the freaking ocean if we need, because it'll just break down. And I also really liked that they had a push pop one, which is like my favorite because it's so fun, and then you can just easily roll it on. You don't have to get your hands all the kind and nasty and get it all over everything, because those mineral sunscreens, they do stain. And I did put one in my washing machine, and it did stain everything brown one time.
Dang.
It was crazy.
Now I got a whole new wardrobe.
A whole new world. And it was sponsored by Avasol. I was so sad.
So that's the first one. But
first one, sunscreen.
So you got the sunscreen down. Bang. Now comes to the actual corals. Bang. Coral, fun fact, is not a plant. It is an animal.
It is a person.
It is a person. It is God.
It is the microbiome.
But coral, to make it very streamlined, basic, is a foundation that is almost feels like rock, can eventually turn into sand, but it has all of these little holes. And the animal that lives inside of the holes are known as polyps. And so that is why you'll see coral that is very beautiful, all these different colors, moving or even opening like hands. And that is the animal, the polyps, that are inhabiting? Or that are...
Yeah, they're living in there. And you guys
But
need
is
to
it-
look these buggers up
Is
because they're
inhabiting
so
the word?
cool.
Inhabit?
Yeah, it's like a skeleton
Yeah.
and it has little thrones in there.
Skeleton.
And the polyps sit their tushies down in there and they get all comfortable. And they multiply.
They multiply, and they provide us
If we're
every
lucky.
second breath that we take.
Hello.
And so coral is really important, and that's why we should protect it at all costs, whether it's through protecting our skin and protecting them, or by not stepping on them. Because a lot of the times, especially here in Hawaii, there's many beautiful destinations, many that have been, what do I want to say?
Fucked up.
Yeah, like fucked up, but like have been blasted out there to the public to go visit these sacred places that are filled with coral, like Hanama Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of protocol, but sometimes when you're out there and you can't tread water that long,
Yeah, you
then
think, I'll just step my little toesies down, which we
No.
get it, girl. You need
Yeah.
a break.
You break.
But maybe you should bring a floaty out
Yeah.
next time.
Or just float up.
Hang on to your boyfriend real
Mhm.
quick. Make him swim you around. Because if you step down and it's coral, even if you're wearing reef booties, it can stun that guy.
Mhm.
And if he's a sensitive coral, he might get shocked so much that all those polyps die.
Yeah.
Or freak out and leave their house.
Right.
They
Or you're
leave their
even
house.
breaking the skeleton, and then that injures the
It can
coral.
injure you as well.
Yeah.
And we don't want your cute little toes getting all cut up. Not
Mm-mm-mm.
today.
So listen to the signs. Make sure you're not stepping on anything in the ocean as long as it's sand, and you know
Or
it won't
rock.
hurt you and you won't hurt it. But just be mindful when you're in the waters and you're hiking as well, not to endanger anything. Definitely not yourself, but you know, animals are friends. Treat them like so.
Yeah.
Because if you were to be that coral, you wouldn't want that big toe, would you?
No, you wouldn't, girl.
Mm-mm.
And corals, yeah, a lot of people don't know that they are a bunch of little creatures that are all alive, but they also serve as the main habitat for a lot of marine ecosystems. So all kinds of fish, plankton, rays, all kinds of animals, eels live in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, eels live in there. So also another reason you don't want your little piggies in there, because it will look like food for those eels.
Yeah.
And it also it serves as a barrier for like waves. So if you like surfing, you have our coral reefs to thank for that. So you should really actually try and protect them at all costs if you want your reef breaks to continue living on for your keiki or your kids one day. / they protect our shorelines. So with all erosion and stuff, we need to keep these guys in check so that way less soil is eroded off our beaches and less houses fall into the ocean, which is happening. So
Very much so.
all that to say, second thing, don't step on the reef.
Don't be doing that. Even
Won't
if
do
it's reef rock, that can still be a habitat for the polyps, or even limu, which is seaweed, because they have a hold fast that it's not roots. Nothing that lives in the ocean is root based. It's all hold fast, and so reef rock can then be the home for future habitats.
Yeah.
So don't be stepping on that either, because then there's probably little tiny habitats that you can't see unless you're eye to eye, and you're hurting that,
Looking at that guy.
looking at that guy, hurting it, killing it.
Yeah.
So no,
No,
thank you.
thank you.
No thanks.
So 1, reef safe sunscreen. Slather yourself up. Wait a little bit. Let it dry. Jump in the cool blue water. And don't step on the reef. Just
Don't do it.
And the last one about the ocean is to just make sure that you're swimming in a safe area. There are so many deaths every year in Hawaii and injuries and just needless rescues because people don't check the current signs, don't check in with lifeguards, and just straight up don't do their research before they jump in the water here. And people don't realize that even though our water is crystal blue Gatorade, beautiful looking water that it looks like you could drink it because it's so clear and you just want to be in it. But sorry, I haven't
Does
been
that to you.
in the water in a while. But
If you know, you know.
oh god. But it looks beautiful, so you want to jump right in. You want to get your Instagram pictures, get on the road again, eat your musubis, whatever. But you gotta do your research, check in with a lifeguard, see if there's a lifeguard, see if anybody else is in the water. Look at the currents, look at the waves. Take a seat on the beach and just stare at the ocean for 5 to 10 minutes. And it can tell you which way the current's going and how big the waves are gonna be. You know, what the biggest risks are gonna be. You might see jellyfish on the beach, like, oh, that's good to know. And if you don't feel confident in your water knowledge and understanding, you can always ask somebody that's surfing or coming out of the water. You know, everybody's here to keep you safe, you know, and wants to help you. So don't be afraid, don't be ashamed to ask for help from lifeguards or just people who are local and look like they know what they're doing. And don't just jump in.
Right.
Don't let your ego take the forefront.
The eco. And it's also, while you're sitting, not just being aware of the people that are there, but also the animals, because we do have a law here in Hawaii that you should not be within 50 feet from our wildlife, especially our endangered species. And we have two main ones, which is
Dos.
our monk seals and our honu, or our turtles. And those are the main ones that everyone wants to come to see because they are beautiful.
And they're the cutest. They're super
And they're the
cute.
cutest. But also everyone wants that picture, and no one's going to want a photo from 50 feet away. But you really do have to follow that protocol because they are endangered. We carry diseases that do not live in the ocean. And so if you were to be really close to any of those animals, you can eventually kill it, not there on impact, but when it goes back to its home. And then if you give them any diseases or germs, they're then spreading it all over to their family as well.
A rule that you can easily use every day if you're not sure if you're a little too close to them is called the rule of thumb. And it's like you just hold your arm out, stick your thumb to the side, and close one eye. And you should be able to cover a monk seal or green sea turtle or like any animal, marine animal, with just your thumb. But if you see its flipper or head sticking out, that's an easy telltale that you're probably too close. You should take some steps on back. Take it back now, y'all. Because they can also be super aggressive.
Yeah.
And they have bit people before and barked at them. They are crazy loud.
Yeah.
Just like, they're very powerful animals. They need to be respected and treated with, the utmost respect.
Right.
So an easy way to do that is stay far away, you know, educate others who maybe aren't aware in a kind way, and just admire from afar.
Yeah. And if it so happens that you are swimming and a honu is right next to you, just glide away.
Yeah, a lot of people wonder, I think a lot of people have a fear about and anxiety about coming to Hawaii, and I think it is a healthy respect for the people and the land here. But I just want to reiterate that if you do come to visit Hawaii, I don't think you're a bad person at all. And honestly, we do need visitors the way that Hawaii is set up right now. We are so reliant on tourism. And not that that can't shift to ecotourism or away from tourism entirely. Lord be willing. But while that is the case, don't put your vacation to Hawaii on the sideline because of fear. I think you should go out of your way to take time to learn the history of the annexation of Hawaii and the root of where all these people's pain comes from and what is contributing, like you said, to the people of Hawaii versus what is contributing to the long history of annexation and just people trumping over the Hawaiian people and the local people who have put their time and love into this land. And so if you are coming here, do your research, your historical research, learn some Hawaiian language. If you have anything to do with Hawaii, you should be learning Hawaiian language. Yeah. Oh, and geology.
Yes.
So learn the history, learn the culture, learn the language, and geology. You just gotta do your homework, essentially.
Do your work.
And it's not your fault because it isn't taught in school on mainland.
Yeah. I'll bring it back to me. Like, I did not grow up here. I'm so grateful to live here right now, but when I was growing up in New Jersey, all they said in my history class was, yay, Hawaii's the 50th state. And it was nothing that the annexation happened, nothing that people were imprisoned. Overthrown, imprisoned.
Held at
almost
gunpoint.
Borderline, slavery.
Sign a bayonet
for
constitution.
this island. And, I'm relying on my history teachers to relay that message since it is a history class. They are a teacher. They should be telling us true history, but for many of the places on the mainland, that's not the case, and for America going forward, that's definitely not going to be the case. So it is up to us to do our research, to teach ourselves, because I just think about it, even if we're not thinking of Hawaii, if I were to go to Europe and not do any research, not even try and speak the language, and just go and assume that, they're just going to accommodate to me even though I'm visiting their land, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so even though we say that Hawaii is part of America and that we should just treat it like America, not the case either, because Hawaii is not America. Hawaii is Hawaii. And so...
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Hawaii is Hawaii! But so many people, turn a blind eye to that because it's not taught in history classes. And so we just come here anticipating we can treat it like Las Vegas, Los Angeles, New York, Disneyland, when that's not the case whatsoever.
Not the case. So people are intimidated to speak Hawaiian. I'm intimidated because I can't olelo Hawaii. I can't speak Hawaiian fluent. Some people can rap it out, and I'm not that yet. But I aspire to be. And I don't think you should let a fear mindset or anxiety about how people will look at you or think of you. And honestly, if anybody judges you for trying to learn olelo Hawaii when you're living in Hawaii or if you're visiting, then that's just bad vibes. I think any effort is beautiful, especially if you grow an appreciation, which I think anyone learning a language does do, just organically, because it makes you feel so much more connected to the culture, understanding the root of the words, and why something is named something. It's, because it resembles that. So, some simple words that people always mispronounce in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Ole! No. Hawaii or Hawaii. You want to get like Hawaii.
Hawaii. Or many people, because W in Hawaii can be pronounced like a V, so it can either be, as we just said it, or Hawaii, where it's like a V, Hawaii.
The basic is that all A's are U's. So instead of you want to go and all O's are So everything is very like it's very like relaxed and more like and like from we call it the na'au, but like your gut. Instead of like up here, like in the back of your throat, it's like so Hawaii. Hawaii. Yeah, there you go. Maikai, that's good.
Mahalo.
Oh my god! People say that?
Yeah. You kidding? And they'll do this.
Crazy. Okay, I'm being a bad example of somebody who
this is what you should
who doesn't judge and like shows love. Okay, showing all love. Go again.
Okay. Number 2. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
I hear your neighbors laughing. I do it.
Mahalo.
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 And I shouldn't be like...
Mahalo.
It's more
Mahalo
like...
means thank you.
Yes.
If somebody does something nice, say mahalo. Somebody gives you lei, mahalo.
Mahalo.
Everybody always saying aloha. See it on t-shirts, the kind. Everybody pretty much, I mean, a lot of people say aloha, right? But one of the translations that I heard of aloha that kind of changed my viewpoint from kumu pualani was breaking it into 2 parts. So alo is like in the face of, and ha is breath. So when people would greet each other in Hawaii, like ancient Hawaii, they would do it with a honi.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll demonstrate a honi. Okay. So you breathe in each other's breath, nose to nose like that. And so aloha was in the face of breath.
Mm-hmm.
You're breathing in each other's air. And that's kind of how you say it, is like aloha, like aloha, like it's in the face of your breath. It's kind of like an avatar when they're like, I see you, I recognize you, you know? Damn, my hair's too short, they cut off my sword. But it's kind of like that, it's the deeper meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some little tidbits. But as you dig into the Hawaiian language, you'll learn some cool stuff like that. It's so exciting. Aren't you excited?
I'm so excited!
Be excited! I'm excited.
Aloha is not only for salutations. Aloha is the way of life here. And we actually have a law that's called, let me pull it up. It's called the Aloha Spirit.
I did not know this.
We learned it today. We're all learning.
We're still learning about
It
it.
is in Chapter 5 of the Law of Hawaii. Chapter 5, 7.5. The Aloha Spirit is the coordination of mind and heart within each person. It brings each person to the self. Each person must think and emote good feelings to others. In the contemplation and presence of life force, aloha, and there's many ways to go about it, many examples that they give you, and we will give you that resource. But it's good to know that aloha is not just for salutations. It can also mean love, wisdom, respect. Many words in Olelo Hawaii have different meanings to it, or multiple meanings to it. And like KK brought up, every word has a meaning behind it as well. Whether that be the description of the object or the place, or just what it brings to the Native Hawaiians, or what it had brought to them. Every word has a meaning. And so it's really important to break it down like we just did with aloha. You can do that with all of them. So,
A lizard is flirting with us.
He is.
He's doing the like gong 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 gong. Sorry. I just had to say that he might be coming over soon.
I'm excited. Oh my gosh, we're the side chicks.
Hello.
We're the
Oh my
other
god,
woman.
look at his little thing.
He's starting young.
Soon.
Oh my god, thank you for taking me on this hike that no one knows about. Oh my god, putting it on Instagram, putting it on Facebook.
Oh girl! Don't you geotag. That picture is for you only. We're not going to tell people where we are out of respect. You can post the picture, reverse flip it. Say you're in Wisconsin in 2 months.
In 2 months. But why is that?
Well, when we geotag places here in Hawaii, it brings in overexposure. And like you were talking about earlier, we don't want our places to be trampled all over. So we do welcome people to come and explore. And we explore, but out of respect for the place and for the local people that also want to be there, we don't geotag. And we try and keep it more kapu for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
More kapu for us. If you see a sign that says kapu, that means like a sacred place.
Mm-hmm.
No go in there. Don't grab plants from there. Don't walk around to check it out. Don't jump in the water. Kapu means, sacred or forbidden. Mm-hmm. It's basically like a stay out sign.
Yeah.
But it's usually like a sacred place for the local people and the native people here, the Kanaka Maoli, or Hawaiians. So, just out of respect, there's so many beautiful places you can go here, but not the kapu.
Now we want to leave it because now I feel like we've just been telling them like do's
Do
and
this.
don'ts.
Don't do that.
So now
Boom,
we
boom,
want
boom,
to
boom,
open
boom.
it up to what we still want to learn. So if
So
you
bad.
know about anything, or while you're doing your research, like we stated before, and find out what we're about to bring up, please let us know in the comments. Or if you know us personally, please shoot us a text.
Yeah.
Because we want to know. The one that I really want to know is the proper practice of handing off a lei. And lei here in Hawaii is you can make it out of many materials, but it is, I wouldn't say it's a necklace.
Garland.
Garland.
Garland. That's a fun word.
Garland.
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 Garfield, short for?
Garland.
Land.
It's a garland that you make in honor of welcoming someone or celebrating them or even just showing your love for them. And so you can make it out of what we're sitting in front of right now, which is tea leaf. You can also make it out of all of the native flowers here in Hawaii.
You can make it out of anything.
Really anything.
Crazy.
I made some out of fabric, so it's like really sustainable.
Candy,
But-
money,
Kind of money.
nuts, shells.
This thing, anything. But what I want to know is that I'm making a lei, I'm thinking about all the love to the person I'm giving it to, and then I'll usually put it on so that I can like transport it. I know I'm not going to forget it, and then I'll take it off and give it to the person that I love or I'm celebrating. And some people, they say like, yeah, that's fine. Like all your love was in it, you made it, and now you're gifting it off to the next person. But other people say that no, you have to like entrap the love and the thoughts of that person and not give it to anyone else, even if it be yourself, and only give it to that being. So like no other energy touches it in a sense. So I want to know, what's the proper
that's
way?
really interesting because I understand both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard it like you wear it and then it's giving a piece of like your spirit to the other person,
Mhm.
your mana, but I could also see it as like it's kind of like sacred and special,
Yeah.
only for them, but it's still like on your arm or something.
Yes.
One thing I want to learn, I'm like super getting into policy kind of, just because it's something I didn't really like learn a lot of in school, and I feel like it's something that really affects us today. We're in like a very politically unstable landscape, some would say, and so like as all the policies change and everything's shifting, and there are opportunities as well for us to stand up for what's right. It's important that we're well equipped with the knowledge. And so there are all kinds of new efforts going towards climate action and environmental conservation, which is awesome. But I would just love to know more about them. Like the green fee, which is awesome. If you haven't heard of the green fee, it is basically like a visitor or tourist tax. It's basically not forcing. I don't know how they can even enforce this, honestly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the nitty-gritty details.
Right.
But they're asking tourists to pay like a mandatory tax or fee when they're visiting now, which has already been done in other countries and other islands especially. And then that money is delegated for funds in conservation and green business, I guess. That's why I'm like, I don't really know exactly where it goes. Is it going for jobs, or is it going to nonprofits? And who chooses the nonprofits? Are they all native nonprofits? So yeah, just little details like that of, just educating myself on policy and ways that I can spread the good word, or spread if there's changes that need to be made, so that way the people can stand up and be clear and concise about what they want and what will be delivered to the people in Hawaii. Period. And so yeah, I encourage you guys to learn more about Hawaii. If you guys come and visit us, do all the things we tell you. Just kidding.
Or else. We don't want to see you.
Stay safe, stay beautiful, and we'll
Stay
see you
wondering.
soon. Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Look at everything with a childlike wonder.
Third eye.
Awake.
Blinked.
Blinked. Did you see that? She was winking at you. But that's about it. All that we got for you guys. Thank you so much. Always, Sam. You're amazing.
I was looking at you before as you were talking. I was like, oh, she's so beautiful.
I'm wearing like my zip patches, so I'm like,
Oh,
hopefully they aren't
love it.
shining in the sun.
And
People
if
are like,
so,
what are they? They're zip patches. The rumors are true.
Zippity dip dop.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
listening to our, what is this, 5th episode?
Yeah, number 5.
Thanks for listening to our 5th episode of WataWahineWorld.
High five.
We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Make sure to please like and subscribe this video if you can. Please share it with other people if you thought it was useful, and comment anything else you'd like us to talk about in the next episode. We'll actually have 2 really awesome wahine on the next show, so I hope you guys tune in for that as well. And if you did not know, we're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Substack, Instagram. So hit us with a follow on all those streams if you like learning about sustainability and what we're up to, which we hope you do because we love you guys.
You're so pro at this.
Ah!
You can follow us at WataWahineWorld. Have a blessed day, everybody.
Love you. Little. So I got my mu'u from, I need the microphone. Oh shit. So I got mine from a vintage shop in Hilo.
Ooh.
I don't know what the tag says. Can you read it? Is it back there?
It says Kai's.
Kai's
KYS.
mu'u. And what are you wearing?
And mine is from Kukua General Store Vintage.
Okay.
It has one pocket
Don't put it too close.
for the mic.
Hello.
And-
Pockets. We love a good pocket moment.
I don't know where it's from either, but it's vintage.
Vintage.
And we wanted to use these colors today to represent the Hawaiian flag.
Not the American flag. We're watching National Geographic right now. What do you think they're fighting about?
Well, he got mad at that one that just flew away, and I think this is his family. It's like, hey, don't fuck with him, and now he's just being a bystander
he's
up
like,
there. He's
so
the
sorry.
instigator and left.
Oh, they're like apologizing.
And now they're like, okay.
Ho'oponopono.
Okay,
Wow,
okay.
we're watching some birds like throw down right now, but then they just reconciled.
The aloha spirit.
So they know the law. They know the law. Oh my god, they're literally like apologizing to each other.
Like this.
They're like, that's so cute.